I think perhaps the very important first thing to say is her extremes of fasting and physical penance don't translate, because they're very much part of an era that, hard as we try, we cannot fully understand the mindset of the medieval woman or the medieval man in their time and place. And so we need to be very careful about, we're not supposed to be imitating that, those specific kinds of actions. The second thing I would say is a great deal of study has been done on this topic by persons far more expert than I am in anthropology, cultural history. And some of the findings that they bring forth include the fact that precisely because women were so restricted in the activity they could take on to show their love for Christ and their desire for the gospel or building up the church, that women, in a sense, turned inward. In other words, a woman wasn't going to go off on dangerous missionary journeys to preach to the heretics or, to the Muslims. Women were not going to be apostolic leaders as the clergy were. So women were finding ways to demonstrate a heroic level of identification with Christ and an identification with the poor and the suffering. And it got expressed in fasting. That a fasting that would be really beyond the norm would show their strength, their determination, their love. And so, and the other is, all kinds of deep associations of women with food preparation and the provision of food and childbearing, that all of these meanings are tied in to renouncing food as a sign of being totally given over to God. The hair shirt and some of these other penances come from a line of spirituality within the church of persons who have sinned in a very public and serious way, taking on some kind of very public and serious self-punishment. And so there are holy women and men who voluntarily take on these penances. Again, it's kind of like they need to prove they're Olympians. They're not just running, a 5K once a year. They're running it every day. And so there is that kind of extremism. And that's why I wanted to be very careful and clear about presenting that she indeed embraced these practices. And it is very off-putting for contemporary persons, as it should be. But if you try to get underneath it, you begin to see there was a method in her madness. But it also shows that there was a willfulness there that was pretty dangerous. And the very fact that Francis would try to dissuade her, he was not easy on himself. So she clearly, and I think we know this in observing people who are really ill with anorexia or conditions like that it is an illness. And Claire has been listed among the people who look at what they call the holy anorexics, of the Middle Ages. I don't know that it's fair to put that label on her, but it's certainly historically accurate that she pushed the envelope to a dangerous degree, to the point where her best advisors had to say, no, you can't, this is not what God wants. Not what God wants of you.